So do you have any questions for us about the internship?
Well, one of the questions that there was if I get one recommendation later and not two, will that make my chances lower, or how does it maybe work? So that was what's going on my mind. And the second thing was, because honestly, I don't have much background doing, the One Health campaigns or something specific training. So most of my things are leading an organization, or maybe like more into the clinical field. So I'm quite figuring out if that would be okay. But now for my question for this session, my question would be: would one recommendation would be okay enough, or would two will be do good more? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. So personally, I believe Deb would consider only having one letter of recommendation an incomplete application. So I think that you need two, and otherwise she's not considering that finished. But the letters of recommendation can be from anyone, like as long as they're not a family member, anyone that you've ever worked with. It doesn't have to be relating to health at all. It can be like your English teacher. Well, I guess you wouldn't have English, your literature teacher. It can just be a random person that's worked with you in some capacity. So it doesn't actually need to be like a One Health recommendation. Does that make sense?
Maddie, can we actually double check with Deb on that one? Because I remember personally, I sent one letter of recommendation when the application said 1 to 2. So I believe both 1 and 2 should be okay, but since there's a bit of confusion on that, we can always ask for clarification.
Yeah, sorry, we can definitely ask Deb. I thought that the requirement was 2, but if it says 1 to 2, then you should be fine with 1. So yeah, we can ask Deb for that one. Do you want to email Deb or should I?
I can get to it, yeah.
Okay. So we will ask her about that. Do you have any other questions regarding the internship?
Well, for now, not much. It was only for the recommendation, and I was thinking home to email, and yeah, pretty much that for now.
Do you have any questions on specific roles that you're interested in? What the experience of those roles are like?
Well, I saw the PDF that was shared in the LinkedIn, and I also went through those roles and responsibilities. And I'm not that sure because, to be honest, I'm also thinking in a way that, which role would make my internship more secure, meaning in a sense that I might get more chances in getting in. Sorry, my battery is low. Yeah. So, but I'm also kind of interested in the admin internship role, and although I also like the social media, but I think honestly that would be more of a workload currently, and because it's a very, although you don't see the person doing it, but it's a lot of work in there. But I'm also interested in that. But depending upon what's on time and how I can get my application done, I think I might go for the admin role. So yeah.
So you said that you were interested in administrative intern and possibly social media intern. Do you have any questions for, well, I'm the current administrative intern and Justina's the current social media intern. So do you have any questions for us regarding them?
Well, my insecurities were that if I get into the admin intern role, since I might not be good with the English writing, or writing an emails, or might not be perfect on that. So would I get guidance along the way, or how does it entire thing works?
Sorry, what exactly do you mean by getting writings?
Maybe like structuring the email, because I think that's most what we are like responsible that going with the emails and doing these administrative work. So because I don't have that kind of background
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, so for the next administrative intern, I'll be putting together like a what you need to know cheat sheet type thing where I'll let you know all the information that you need to know. And so in that I can include like email templates where you could use them as a formatting type thing. But typically the emails, I'm mostly emailing the other interns. So when you're emailing the other interns, of course you want to be professional, but it's a little less pressure than when you're emailing a larger organization outside of us, right? Because within us, we all work together and we all know each other, but you want to make a good impression on the other organizations. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
Of course. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Well, for the, I don't think I don't have much, because I've been, for now, my whole like focus was on getting the recommendation later, because my professors were a bit busy and I was thinking of choosing the right person to write the letter, because I don't have work for my CV or the cover letter. So better to include in the cover letter would be very much helpful.
Okay, so you're talking about getting certain letters of recommendation. I'm sorry, could you repeat your question again? The recording thing kind of interrupted you.
Well, I was saying that what would make a good cover letter, although they were given some guidelines, like, but they also said that it's to be included in just one page. And if I write, I think it might get put two pages. So how can we make it more compact and maybe get to the exact specific point for the cover letter? And I think that would be my last question and not bug you much more. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And just saying hi to Deidre. Is that how you pronounce your name? Okay, awesome. So hi, welcome to the intern meeting. I'm just going to answer Vima's questions. So to condense down the cover letter, I would recommend just trying to focus on like less so what you've already done and why you want the and more so why you want the internship, right? Because your CV is going to have all of your previous work and all of the things that you've done before, but the cover letter, it should be about like why you want this internship and what potential you have to grow. So if you have anything about like your past work history, that could be something that you could either shorten or cut out from the cover letter, and that would make it easier to be one page. Does that help at all?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Could I also offer a bit of advice? For me,
Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly what your circumstances are, but I was still am currently a university student at the time that I applied, and our university offers writing help. So people who can review your papers, cover letters, things like that. So I made sure to have it written out and then get it reviewed so I can get feedback on it and then make those edits and then submit it, so that I knew that what I submitted was like the best it could be. So if there's any services that you know of that are available to you, I highly recommend taking advantage of them.
I think that's an awesome idea. Yeah, sure. I will send it to some of my seniors for the review or something. Yeah. Wow, I didn't think of that. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome. Hope it helps.
Okay, thank you so much. Deidre, did you have any questions that you wanted to ask us?
Hi, Maddie. Hi, everyone. I literally only found out about this last night, and Deborah just recommended to me to hop in, and I've kind of very recently kind of found the world of One Health. So I'm kind of trying to soak in all of this, as much info as I can. And she said even if I wasn't going to apply for an internship, it could be really helpful. But my background is in social sciences, so in teaching and psychology. And the reason I had reached out to Deborah was because I was kind of like, oh my gosh, this seems like an amazing field, but I'm really, really lacking the science background. And I was kind of wondering how to navigate that. So I suppose one question I would have is, is anybody coming from a social science background maybe?
If I may try to answer that question, that's a really wonderful question. And my name is Skylar. I'm the Americas Promotions Intern. I apologize, I was having some difficulty with my background, but it's great to have you. And again, thank you for that question. I don't think that you're alone with feeling a little maybe overwhelmed by all of the opportunities in different avenues within One Health that you can connect, because it really is a connection of everything. So I sometimes get a little overwhelmed at all of the different connections that are possible, all of the different networks that are available. There are quite a few resources that really help organize those. Within this internship in particular, I think you'll find that a lot of different, you'll be working not just in One Health, but of course in education and working with people who are organizing different education platforms. You'll be working with teachers. You'll be working with a lot of different people, not just in One Health, but really growing that One Health connection. So you don't have to come from a very scientific background. My background itself is microbiology, but I find myself not really doing that now. And you'll work with a lot of veterinarians. So it's really important to understand that you don't have to have that. And it actually might oftentimes be beneficial to try to communicate science education, having a background of social sciences like that. Deb's book, The Art of Science Communication, really goes into that as well. I hope that helped answer your question. Maybe some of my other interns can build off of that.
That was really helpful, Spider. Thanks a million.
I can add something to the chat as well. The One Health Commission, when I was applying, was a really good resource just to kind of see who is who in One Health, all the different organizations based on like which continent, which area, whether they're universities, NGOs. It was quite a bit of information to sift through, but it did help me piece together what I was getting into. And they do have a social sciences initiative. So I'm pasting that link in the chat if you'd like to take a look at it. But what I've seen from that initiative is looking at things like what the social determinants are, not determinants, I don't want to use that word. So different social factors that could contribute to disease, different social factors that could contribute to people not wanting medical care or things like that. So that's where we really need people with social science backgrounds. And I'm sure like you would see that link would probably be very helpful for you to see where you might be able to fit into it, or just interesting research that you'd find fascinating. I
Great.
hope that helps.
Thank you so much. That's really helpful, Justina. Thank you.
No problem.
If I may just add something else to that, and expanding on what Skylar said about people coming together from all different disciplines and working together, that's literally what One Health approach is. And the more time that I'm sort of spending within One Health lessons specifically, and like through my degree, the people you talk to, it like the range of backgrounds is actually really interesting. Like you speak to people that you would never normally speak to in your normal university life, or a career. You speak to people from so many backgrounds, and like Skylar said, your own knowledge and your even the way you approach a situation would be completely different to someone from a different career. And sometimes it's so rewarding, because obviously people have different ways of thinking, and that is literally One Health, and it's so contemporary at the moment and so relevant. Everyone knows what a COVID-19 is. I don't think there's a person on earth that hasn't heard of it, to be honest. And this is the perfect time to get involved with something like this, because obviously everyone knows about it. So it's just a great time, I think, personally. And I'm sorry, I don't have my camera on. I'm sorry, and I hope you can hear me okay. I've had technical difficulties. But yeah, I hope that helps a little bit more.
That's great, Paris. Thank you.
Yeah, I would definitely just reiterate everything that everyone else has said, and just to add on, like, I've worked with so many people in One Health who didn't have a hard science background, and honestly, they are, in my opinion, they are the ones that are really furthering the field the most. A lot of scientists have issues with communicating and with actually relating to other people sometimes. So having social scientists who know like how society works and how people think is actually very, very useful in One Health, because it allows us to expand our work in a really nice way. So.
That's great, Maddie. Thanks for all the reassurance, guys.
Just a little bit more to add to that, because I know, well, you mentioned that you come from an educational background, and I just wanted to say, like, my role as a lesson leaders and ambassadors program coordinator intern, I know that's a long title, but basically what I do is working with a lot of teachers and people in education to continue promoting this message of One Health, especially to the younger generations. So definitely you do not need to think that you need a scientific background in order to do this. Most of the people I work with as well do not have a science background. So yeah, it's really about the collaboration of people from different fields. So it would be awesome to get any kind of input from a social science or education, person with education background.
Great, thank you, Doris.
Do you have any other questions for us at the moment?
Not so far, but I'm sure those will start popping into my head.
Okay.
Thank
No
you.
worries.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, Joanna.
Hello, everyone. So I am the president of One Health organization and Georgia Southern University, and some of the new members that joined the organization have to complete some volunteer hours or internships. So I thought maybe they will be interested in this, but first I wanted to know, because mostly of them are from biology, from chemistry, from human science. A couple of them are from public health. Some of them are juniors. So mostly of them are undergrad. So I don't know what you want. Like, do you want master people or doctoral or
Yeah,
for the
so
position?
I can answer that. So for the
Yeah.
internship and for our volunteering opportunities, you just have to be 18 years old.
Okay.
I am personally still an undergraduate student. I'm pretty sure you've seen it, or she just started her master's, one or the other. So Doris started this as an undergraduate. Many of us are or were undergraduates at some point during our internship. So that's more than fine as long as the person is over 18. That's really the only requirement we have. So for volunteering and for the internship. And I think Doris maybe could speak a little bit more about like the volunteering opportunity we have.
I talked with Paris. She wanted like bilingual people to translate, but none of them were bilingual.
Bilingual. Okay, no worries. Yeah, so we have that, but we also, if they're not bilingual, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that, so it's okay. But if they wanted another opportunity, we have the Lesson Leaders program where they can teach lessons to children about One Health. So they get trained by us to learn how to teach these lessons, and then they can go out into their own communities and teach them to children, and that would give them like volunteering hours. So Doris can talk a little bit more about that if there's something I left out, but I think I got the gist of it.
Yeah, I think you did, Maddie. Do you have any other questions, Joanna? I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry I don't have my camera on either. But yeah, I'm glad you're here. And if you have any more questions about the Lesson Leaders program specifically, Doris is our current Lesson Leader program intern, and Fola is going to be the new Lesson Leader program intern in future. So any more questions, they'd be happy to answer about that. I'll give it to you guys rather than myself.
So the internship is in summer, or can they volunteer like in spring or right now, or any other times?
The internship starts from October and ends in June. But for volunteering, that can happen at any point in time. When we have lessons lined up, we reach out to volunteers, and if they are free and available, then they can teach during that period of time.
Do they have this is unpaid internship, right?
Yes, it's unpaid.
If I may, I just off of that, I have not expected the amount of opportunities that have been open to me during this internship. I have talked with people that I never thought would be possible. I talked with a doctor from NASA. I've spoken with doctors in the Caribbean and environmental scientists up in Washington State. So I've been very grateful for the networking opportunities that this internship has made available to me. And that has really been invaluable and will definitely continue to be invaluable to me, even when my internship is over.
Do you have any other questions for us? Okay, awesome. I apologize. Oh, Dima, yes.
Oh, well, I do. Can we apply for like two positions at the same time with one application? Because if we're interested in like two roles.
I'm sorry, could you repeat your question, please?
like, can one person apply for 2 different positions because they are interested in like both of the works, but although for sure that at the end they are going to be given only one role, but just to show their interest, can we do that?
I will double check with Deb, but I am pretty sure that that is okay. I think that you just like indicate that you are interested in doing either one of those roles when you apply, possibly in your cover letter or in the email itself. I don't see why that would be an issue as long as you're using the same application and letters of recommendation. I think you should just try to include both positions that you're going for in your cover letter, but I will double check with her on that right now.
If I may jump in as well, even if you apply for one position during the interview, it's sort of more like a chat. The interview process, it's sort of to see where Dr. Thompson sees you in the internship role, if that makes sense. So if you did apply for one position that you thought maybe you'd be best for, and then in the interview process, maybe say, I was interested in this other role. However, I applied for this role because I thought it would suit me best. Dr. Thompson has a background of mentorship, so it's just an option if you didn't want to apply for 2 roles, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Thank you, Babs. And thank you, Maddie, as well. Yeah, I got it.
Sorry.
Actually, I had a question that might be on other people's minds, but a few of our interns in this cohort kind of have roles as promotions and language expansion interns. So would anyone like to clarify how that might work or how that might look on an application?
Sure, I can take a crack at that. My name is Skylar, for those who may not have been able to hear me earlier. I'm the Americas Promotions and Language Expansion Intern. So my region is North America and South America, which is a pretty large piece of land, lots of countries in there. So you really have a pretty large jurisdiction in that role. It's definitely helpful to know other languages because of that. I personally don't, and a lot of my interns have been able to help me out, so it's not required, but it might be helpful. I separate my time. Time management is very key during this because you have a lot of different tasks to work on. For instance, writing blog posts, promotions within your jurisdiction, connecting with your local communities. Let's see, what else? Writing like little blurbs and recruitment newsletters, connecting with education platforms that might be able to help promote our lessons, or there's a lot of different tasks that you can work on. And so the time management is very key in that, and making sure that you're connecting with your interns and with Deb so that you're focusing your energies where in the direction that you're all, working where you need to be. I hope that helped to answer that question, Justina.
Yeah, does anyone else have any other questions for us?
I have one last question. So who will be the person I need to contact if my other friends or need any further information?
Yeah, so if any of them want further information, you can have them contact me. So let me look that for you. So that's my email. And they can send me an email. They can also contact any of us if they have a specific role that they know that they want, or if they know that they want to volunteer for something. I could also just forward them to the correct person. So as long as they reach out to me, I should be able to either answer their question or direct them to the right person.
Right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Joanna.
Cool.
All right, we have a, thank you, Bima, for writing everything out.
Yes. So no one is currently a business or management intern. So we don't quite know what to expect. I guess I would say probably like Paris, Doris, and I are the closest things to a management intern because we all manage our own sections of things. Like Paris manages promotions, Doris manages the lesson leaders program, and I manage the administrative things. But as a business management intern, I don't think any of us really know exactly what to expect from that, unfortunately. Does anyone have any ideas? I do think I'm pretty
I
accurate.
can jump in. So I think if you don't know already, our organization currently is in the process of becoming a nonprofit organization. So I would expect the business or management intern role to work on fundraising for that and to manage the business aspect of the organization, because currently we are not funded by anything and we are 100% volunteer run. So as we move forward into becoming a official nonprofit organization and being able to expand and to get our educational resources to more parts of the world, we do need to start moving into this direction where we start creating partnerships with different organizations that could help with funding so that we could continue providing these education resources. So yeah, I would assume this intern to work on that and probably a lot more fundraising. But yeah, if you have any more questions about that, you can feel free to, I guess Maddie could help you ask Dr. Thompson about that.
Yeah, I can definitely ask Dr. Thompson about that. And then for your second question about how hectic it can be for the administration role, it's not too hectic. You just basically need consistent access to your email. Since you are organizing and scheduling a lot of meetings, it is better for you to be at them, but if you can't attend them, that is okay. But it is expected for you to like be able to answer your emails and be able to create Zoom links if you have a premium Zoom account, and just kind of organizing everything and making sure. So it's a bit hectic, but it's mostly emails in the terms of hectic. It's less like back-to-back meetings and more just like the emails never really stop. But it's what you would prefer, emails or meetings. Each position has its own thing. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, of course. And then I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, but Swochow, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, I actually asked in the chat and you have already notified me on that.
Okay, awesome. You don't have any additional questions then?
Yeah, if I get any question or any queries during my application process, I'll send you a mail. Will it be all right?
Yeah, that's perfect. You can send me an email.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Of
If
course.
you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Nepal.
Amazing, amazing. I actually have a friend. She's from Nepal as well, and I sort of recognize, like, your name, the way it is. That's super cool. The thing is, as well, we're all based from all over the world. So actually, Doris is from Hong Kong, but she's now in Glasgow. Skylar's in the US, Maddie's in the US, Polo's in Hungary. I'm in the UK. So it's super cool to hear. We're all over the world. So yeah, I just thought I'd ask. But yeah, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah. It is pleasure for me also to know about the One Health relations. I'm currently studying. I'm a graduate student in veterinary public health, and One Health has always been my a subject that I look forward to. So it would be a very great pleasure for, working with you after the application process. Obviously, hope I get selected on that.
Amazing. Are you interested in any specific positions? Or you don't know yet?
Yeah. I checked all the positions that you have opened for, and there are so many positions, and I am just processing how much I can give in each position. So I have to look forward to it properly first. So still in confusion. Let's see.
Sounds good. I know that there are definitely a lot of positions, so taking time to figure out which would be the best fit is actually a really good idea. So good job for doing that. And I hope to see you again soon. Sorry, Doris, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, while we're all here, I was just wondering if the prospective interns are interested in hearing about what each of us do. I think it might help to just give a quick rundown so they don't have to look too much or read too much text from that PDF, although it is helpful.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think that's a great idea.
Okay. Yeah, Maddie, do you want to start? Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, I'll go first. Yeah, so I am the current administrative intern, and so in my position, I am mostly in charge of organizing documents for the organization, organizing the weekly intern meetings, helping Deb organize other meetings or webinars that she has, and I also am responsible for meeting notes during meetings. Especially if I sit in on any promotions meetings as well, I'm responsible for those. And yeah, I'm mainly just the kind of point of contact, or at least the first point of contact for a lot of people when they're trying to reach One Health lessons. So I mainly transfer, I forward their emails to another intern or to Deb, depending on who they're trying to talk to, or I'll just answer their question myself if I know the answer. So that's my main role, is just organizing and trying to make sure everything is in order and making sure everyone is up to date.
Okay, I can go next. So I am, as you can see here, the Lesson Leaders and Ambassadors Program Coordinator Intern. And if you haven't heard of the Lesson Leaders Program already, it is a 4-hour training program that trains up the general public to be able to teach others about the connection between human health, animal health, and environmental health, or One Health. So in this role, there are quite a lot of things that I'll be doing, but this position is actually going to be continued by Fola, our next intern for this position. So, but mostly what I do is organizing this program and making sure that all the volunteers that go through this program can complete it at their own pace, but also in a timely manner. And so currently there are actually more than 600 people registered in this program, so it is quite a lot of work to go through each person's progress and making sure that they're on track to complete the program. And for the ambassadors part of my role, which Paris will be taking over, it is when somebody who becomes certified as a lesson leader, so after they go through that 4 hours of training, they if they want to become an ambassador, all they do is they need to teach 5 additional lessons, either in their own community or through classrooms that we connect them to. And then they can become an ambassador, where they can then train more people to become a lesson leader on the ground in their own community. So yeah, that's mostly what I do. Paris, do you want to go next?
Of course, thank you, Doris. I am Paris. I'm the senior promotions intern, and my role, do you know, every single week it's completely different. That's sort of why I really enjoy this role. It's varying time. So some weeks it can be around 10 hours. The following week it can be 20, 25. So it really does depend on the week. So my role is to basically liaise with other partners, our current partners, and try and expand to more partners, arrange meetings with certain partners, and basically our existing partners, try and work with them to somehow promote their organization, our organization. So there'll be like competitions, things like that, honestly, it is so different. And I'm sure if you are interested in this role, you will come across new things all of the time that I haven't even done yet. And Maddie was the previous, the previous senior promotions intern. And I think that me and her have had completely different experiences. So it is varying. However, it is super cool just to speak and network with a range of different people in the world. And yeah, if you have any questions more for this specific role, please email me. I'd be happy to set up a quick Zoom or anything like that. Hope I answered everything okay.
I can go next. So my name is Justina. I'm the social media intern, and I do quite a bit of things. I manage Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, so all of our social media accounts. I also create content for that. So some things such as Instagram, for example, I'll be creating posters and stuff for that. For the YouTube, make sure that the videos have been uploaded and shared, as well as advertising for any contests that we have, or such as this internship as well. I've also kind of been doing a little bit of everything. So on top of that, every once in a while, I might be looped into meetings that Paris sits on in terms of discussing how we might promote the work of our partners on our social media, or things like reaching out to connections in my community and seeing if we can partner with them. So we all do quite a bit of work to help each other out and ultimately promote One Health lessons, as well as, I'm not sure if this has been mentioned earlier or if I'm repeating myself, but we all are lesson leaders as well. So we all attended the lesson leader training, and we're all trying to become ambassadors as well to help teach lessons in our own communities. So I think that about covers it. Some weeks, like Paris mentioned, my time kind of varies as well. So if we have things like contests, or if I'm advertising the internship, my weeks might be a bit busier, but I'd say it can range anywhere between like 10 to 20 hours. I hope that helps.
I can go next if you like. my name is Skylar. I'm the America's Promotion and Language Expansion Intern. A little bit about what I do. Again, just like all of these roles, they're all very multifaceted. I work with people that I never thought that I would get the opportunity to. A little bit about myself. I come from a microbiology background, and I am now pursuing a One Health master's degree. I currently work at a animal veterinary clinic, so I do have some bizarre hours sometimes, but thankfully one of the great things about this internship is that everybody is kind of in a different time zone, so it's not necessarily constrained. I think most of us have pretty flexible work weeks, and we're able to do work when we can and however we manage it. So that's really helpful for some of the different tasks that we do. Like Justina mentioned, we're all lesson leaders, so making sure that we're involved in some of the lessons that we host, making sure that we're able to be there and help shadow or assist lesson leaders in training, and making sure we engage our local communities to host lessons there. One thing that I wanted to mention is at first, being able to teach a class with our One Health lessons was a little daunting to me. I get a bit of stage fright, but it's probably some of the most fun that I've had during this internship is instructing the lessons, connecting with these students, having a lot of fun while you do it. The lessons are designed to be fun and interactive, so it's really great to have that aspect. And it's I think it's expected of all of us to be involved with that. And to answer your question in the chat, Bima, I probably spend at least 15 hours a week working on this, and those hours are again scattered throughout the week. Working with, doing a lot of research about One Health connections in your area, and then in the area that you're assigned to. It does take up a lot of work doing research, but then again, almost everything is related to One Health. So you'll have a lot of different avenues that you can go down. Let's see, I think I'm touching on everything. We could also touch on Toastmasters too. Toastmasters is something that we're all involved in. It's an international public speaking community. So it really helps with our public speaking when we talk about One Health lessons, or even in the classrooms, online or in person. It is a really fun program and club to be a part of. You'll likely find one in your local community, or you can join one online, anywhere really, wherever you feel most comfortable, because each group is different. And you really expand on your public speaking that way. So I just wanted to note that. I think that's all. It really does come down to, you'll find yourself creating tasks that may not be listed on the internship, but as something that you want to do, new ideas, being innovative and figuring out different ways to promote One Health lessons or make connections with One Health lessons. Writing blog posts is a really fun thing to do, and really great way to promote you and your work, and about different One Health issues. Creating lessons. Justina has been very instrumental in creating some of the lessons that we're rolling out. So it really expands. There's lots of different opportunities to grow your skills in many different ways.
Hi, I'm Fola, and I'm the Africa Promotions and Language Expansions intern. So my role is really similar to Skylar's. The time it varies as well depending on my week, from between 10 weeks to 10 to 20 weeks. And it's mainly just reaching out to organizations and schools in Africa and trying to get our lessons out. And like Skylar said, we're all involved in teaching lessons, and all the lessons are made to be interactive. Like with the mRNA lessons that we've been teaching recently, we had like a point-based system where if you answered questions, teams would get points. And because we were arranging teams and the classes were so competitive, everyone was willing to participate, and it was really, really fun. Sorry, I don't know, my mind is kind of spacey. We're all involved with Toastmasters as well. It's kind of a recommendation or an obligation as an intern it's not compulsory, but we're recommended to join a Toastmasters group because it helps us develop our speaking, and it helps us understand how to speak how to give impromptu speeches or just speak in general. I don't know why today, sorry that my speaking is horrible today, but yeah, that's mostly what I do. And I don't know if I'm missing anything. If I'm missing anything, anyone can let me know. Thank you.
Thanks, Fola. And just one other thing that all interns are involved with is actually teaching, because as you know about the Lesson Leaders program, the last part to the Lesson Leaders program is actually teaching your own lesson. And the second part was to shadow a lesson, and then you teach your own lesson. So some of these lessons that all of you will teach at least one time, because you will all be enrolled in the Lesson Leaders program once you become an intern. And sometimes when lessons come up, such as actually this week, we actually have a partnership with this is a school in Argentina. So when things like that happen, we as interns will step in to teach any lessons that that we find with schools. And so if you're interested in teaching, there are many opportunities to do that as well.
Yeah, excuse me. And just to answer the question Deidre put in the chat, so it's kind of both, I guess, is the best way to answer it. It's always encouraged, and like very encouraged, that you go out into your own community to find to find schools to teach these lessons in, because the whole point of the Lesson Leaders program is to branch out into our communities around the world to teach these lessons. But as Doris touched upon, we have partnerships with certain schools, like the school in Argentina, where it would just be a Zoom-based lesson where we would come in on Zoom and use that platform to teach. So it's a combination of both. Certain schools want large amounts of lessons taught around the same time, and in that case, it's usually us on Zoom helping out. But it is very encouraged for you to go out and try to find schools, or even just groups of kids, so like clubs that might be interested in it, or I don't know if you guys have Boy or Girl Scouts, something like that. Anything that would just be interested in having these lessons taught to the kids that are a part of it. So I hope that answers your question. So do we have any last minute questions while we're in the last 5 minutes of this meeting? Anything else that we haven't touched on that you guys were wondering about?
Can I ask, has anyone been able to see some of our recorded lessons on our YouTube channel? So we do have a lot of lessons on there, I think from a lot of different age groups. So you can see Deb or other lesson leaders teaching these lessons, get an idea about what they include, and how we're able to connect with these classrooms off of our website, which I'll just put down in the chat just for easy reference. But there's a lot of information on there about the Lesson Leaders training program. If you guys want to know more about what that process looks like, or all the lessons are on there, including the languages. and the blog section, so you can see about some of the other topics that are on our mind that we want to share with everybody. Are there any other resources that we can include down in the chat, guys?
I think the YouTube channel is one of the best ones.
Chris just pasted it in.
Yeah, and Doris has already pasted it into the chat. I would say another thing that hopefully you guys have all seen is our actual website as well has great resources for what we've been able to do and who our partners are. We have blogs that talk about different One Health topics from interns, but also just from volunteers who are interested in writing blogs. So I definitely recommend checking that out as well. And then Bima asked, how long is the interview? Me and Doris had interviews a long time ago, so it might have changed, but my interview was, I think it was only like 30 minutes long. I don't think it was an hour. I think it was between 20 to 30 minutes. I don't remember it being very long. I don't know if Doris remembers hers, but we've been with the interns for a while, so I don't know if that's changed for the new class of interns. I don't know how long your guys' interviews were, but mine was around 30 minutes.
I remember mine being around 30 minutes as well. But again, that might change depending on our schedule in the future for this cohort. So if you're contacted for an interview, you will know.
Yeah, it should be like told to you in the interview meeting invitation approximately how long they expect you to be on so that you can allot a proper amount of time and don't you have to leave or something. I hope that answers your question. All right. Any last minute thoughts from anyone that you want to share? Okay.
One thing that I would like to mention is that I'm extremely grateful for this internship for so many different reasons, but it really has given me a lot of hope in a very kind of somber world right now. So I just being able to connect with my peers here and collaborate with them and create, connecting with students, connecting with scientists, it's given me a lot of hope and momentum. So I hope that you guys can experience that too.
Yeah, I would definitely second that. Like there's been countless opportunities that I've had through this internship that I would have never had I not done this. The amount of people I've connected with all over the world is astounding even to me now. So I definitely recommend it. But yes, Bima, Paris did just answer your question, but we had a Asia regional intern. I don't believe that Abdullah is staying on. He couldn't make it today, unfortunately, because he is sick. But we do have Asia promotions intern, just as we have a Europe and an Africa and an Americas. So that does exist. It is a position, but he is not able to be here right now, but he is from Pakistan.
Yeah, actually, when I first started in this internship, it was actually last year. It's been 1 year because I actually started as an Asia promotions intern, and then I moved to senior promotions and now doing the lesson leaders and ambassadors. So there is a lot of area like to grow in this internship. And if you're ever interested in another role, I'm sure Deb would be happy to transition you through anything that you would like to improve on. So it's really about mentoring you and seeing where your strengths are and improving your weaknesses. So we're all in this together as a team, and we're here to support each other. So yeah, really happy to meet you all today, and I hope you consider applying.
Yes, thank you all for coming today. If you guys have any other questions that you didn't think of during this meeting, you can always feel free to email me, and I will either direct the question to someone who definitely knows the answer, or I will answer it myself if I know the answer. But thank you guys again for coming out and for joining this meeting. I hope that you all enjoyed it and that it was informative.
Thanks so much, everybody. It was really, really helpful. I'm delighted I found out about it last minute.
Thank you all.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
guys.
us.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.